Hey, what is up, everyone? This is Zach, aka Keats39 here, bringing you another NFL DFS Showdown. I have a pretty straightforward slate here with a matchup between the Buccaneers and Giants. Buccaneers are 11-point favorites. I believe it is a 50-point over-under. So fully expect the Buccaneers to come out and dominate this one. But the tough part is always when picking Buccaneers, which ones do you want? And kind of, it's like a roulette basically on who scores touchdowns. But I feel decent about which ones I picked on this slate. So go ahead and start with Brady. I do firmly believe he's a lock on the slate. 11.2, not too bad. Coming off a game where he looked un-Brady like, only put up 15 points, which I mean that's his floor. I believe he had 11 against New England, but that was a really bad weather game. In this one, 15.4 basically matchup that the Giants are not a good defense. I like, and they're not afraid to throw when they're winning either. So I firmly believe Brady's lock. Probably one of the stronger captain plays, especially in cash games. Maybe not the type of seal, or he has a ceiling for GPP, but just does it spread out enough between, or does someone dominate? So going to the receiving corps, it's going to be the strong take. Mike Evans is probably going to be the least popular of them. He's probably going to draw static coverage from James Bradbury, who's very good. Bigger corner. He's just been really good this year. It was awesome last year as well. So not like a fluky thing about him being good this year. That being said, Mike Evans is pretty matchup proof. There's really no one that's going to actually shut him down with Tom Brady as quarterback. They do a really good job of getting him open. He's really good at getting open. Really good at making contested catches. Really, really good in the red zone. I will say his red zone probability of getting targets goes down at least a smidge with Rob Gronkowski expected back. Get to that in a second. Chris Godwin, my favorite pass catcher. Really no surprise there. He's pretty much every week. Godwin's my favorite pass catcher. He's just so good, and his role just playing in the slot, getting those high percentage targets, and he gets a way better matchup than Mike Evans will. So that's the last similar matchup was against New Orleans, where he put up 31 while Mike Evans was getting Marshawn Lattimore coverage compared to his 13. I just think Godwin, I pretty much plug and play every time when they're on the slate, unless I feel really, really strong about Mike Evans scoring. Don't feel as confident tonight, but that's going to be the consensus. And the ownership is probably going to be way more lopsided than it should be, considering Mike Evans' talent. So, obviously both really strong plays. I'll take the 800 discount with Chris Godwin and the higher floor. Leonard Fournette, smash play as well. He's been so good this year. Really good at catching passes. Scores a lot when given the chance in the red zone. Gets a matchup where, really bad. 23rd against the run, 123 yards a game. And we saw last game, we saw him in his normal timeshare where not seeing when Giovanni Bernard came back, they're basically just saying getting rid of Ronald Jones. Leonard Fournette's playing almost all the rundowns. Giovanni Bernard playing those for short pass downs, 2-minute drills and stuff like that. In a game that they should dominate, I fully expect it to be a Leonard Fournette game. Really, really strong play. Really, really strong play here. 10K is a lot for a running back. But on this slate, it's honestly really easy to build. Very obvious. It's very obvious the type of build I'm going to have. So, I really like Leonard Fournette as well. One of my favorite captain plays as well. Yeah, I will be captaining Brady. One of these four basically is going to be my captain and all my lineups tonight for the most part. Might sprinkle in Tony, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Gronk, I don't have much interest in. If he was fully healthy, I would have a lot of interest. 6.2 is a lot for a guy that's been really struggling to stay on the field. And with how long and how bad his injury's been, I would be very surprised if he was like out there running out on the field a bunch of snaps, especially when they have the two tight ends that are really, really strong on AJ Howard and Cameron Brate. Just would not make a whole lot of sense to run him out for a lot of snaps in a game that they're going to dominate. But with that said, I would be surprised if he scored 2 touchdowns. Like, he's definitely in play, just very, very GPP. Buccaneers defense, I do think is in play. They're getting healthier. So I have more interest in them. And not fully getting healthy, but yeah, I do have interest. I probably won't play any because I just don't play defenses, but it's a decent spot for the Buccaneers defense. Tyler Johnson, I think, is very interesting. He's a very good, talented receiver. Hasn't really shown out since the Antonio Brown injury. Wouldn't be surprised at all if this was his breakout spot. When you look at the snap counts, he was very clearly the wide receiver 3, played 70% of the snaps. It's been like that ever since Antonio Brown started missing. So I don't hate taking him as a dart in GPPs. I prefer kickers for the $1,000 savings. But yeah, just really good player and a really good matchup. So just probably a little more pricey than I would like to pay, especially with Gronk back. That's just another guy that's going to eat up some targets. Always like kickers, so like them. Don't have much Cameron Brate interest. I prefer kickers, but worth a look. Bernard and Ronald Jones, I think both are probably 2 of the better punts on the slate. Giovanni Bernard, we know how good he is. I prefer him in games that I think they're going to shoot out, and like you'll get a 2-minute drill where he just catches like 4 checkdowns in a row, gets you that 6 points. But he's in play as a guy under 2K. There's not very many on this slate. So yeah, that's pretty much where I end my interest. Ronald Jones, I have interest in just for the fact that they're 11-point favorites. If they get up 3 touchdowns in the second half, I wouldn't be surprised if they let him start playing a lot. So yeah, I think he's interesting in that regard. But other than that, that's about it for the Buccaneers. But that's the easy side. This is where things get hard. So I'll start with Dan Jones, very, very strong play. We know how good of a runner he is. They're going to be trailing. Buccaneers have given up a lot of passing yards this year, so Daniel Jones is a very strong play. Him versus like Fournette is very tough for me. I don't know which one I prefer. As of now, I prefer for Fournette, but don't necessarily think I'm gonna fully agree with myself on that take when it comes to 8 o'clock. So, yeah, that'll be a day-long debate. So Sequon Barclay is very interesting to me. He has missed a bunch of games. Hasn't played since week 5, was good before getting hurt. So there's a couple key factors here for me on Saquon. So Vita Vea is not expected to play in this game. Big boost. We all know how strong. No one ever plays running backs. At least I never play running backs against Tampa Bay. They did get gashed. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but one of the 2 they did. And Saquon is just really, really talented. And a big thing to do with my interest is Devontae Booker. I've played Devontae Booker a lot the last couple of weeks because they it's been him dressed as running back. It's been him and Elijah Penny, and Elijah Penny plays fullback. So Devontae Booker was getting 90% of snaps a lot of times. That's 73 last week, but 93, 82, 72, 88. Like, he was playing a lot of snaps. And then Elijah Penny, like, he'll get garbage work or occasional goal line work, but that won't be the case if Saquon's healthy. If they're both active, I don't have as much interest. But if Booker's out, Saquon, I have a lot of interest in. If they don't have Vea, that's one. They're probably the best run stopper. They give up catches to backs, and you'll see that a lot in the garbage time. So 7.8 is really cheap for a guy of this talent, and might be play on the field for 95% of snaps. Like, it's not out of question. So definitely interest there. Kenny Gallaudet, don't have too much interest in. He has one good game this year. For the receivers here, I 100% prefer Kadarius Toney. He did burn me last week with his 1.7, but that was not the type of game it's going to be that they're trailing. He's probably going to have the full-time slot role with no Sterling Shepard. And I think that the outside receiver or outside corners for the Buccaneers are both pretty talented. They've missed a lot of the year, which is why they've been getting burnt. But both will be playing in this one, so I do think that that's why I have more interest in Kadarius Toney than Kenny Gallaudet. And although Kenny Gallaudet is way more talented, Darius Slayton has the same exact role and is over half or more than half less the price. So I prefer, like, Darius Slayton I have a lot of interest in at 3.2. When you look at these snap counts, all played 55%, but like 87% the week before when they didn't have Gallaudet. I don't necessarily know if Colin Johnson's going to see 40% of snaps again. I really don't. But I just don't have much interest in Kenny Gallaudet. He's touchdown or bust type of guy. Ingram, I do have a little interest, probably overpriced for me, but we'll probably catch a lot of checkdowns and he gets red zone work. And Tampa Bay isn't great against tight ends, so but 6.6 is probably more than I want to pay for him, especially he's just like, he should be priced in that kicker's range with these type of box scores, but he's not. He's a time and a half the price. So like both kickers, I guess you can consider Colin Johnson. After seeing he played 40% of snaps, I just don't expect that to continue. And that's pretty much, practice squad, make sure he was not added to the roster. That's pretty much where I stand this slate. I'm probably going to try to do 4-2 Tampa Bay to Giants plays. But a lot of it's going to have to do with the Sequon Barclay type news, whether I think he's going to play 90% of snaps or like 50 and they ease him back in with Booker. So, that's going to do it. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Later.